Hi everyone, welcome back to US Immigration News, where we break down US immigration updates to make your journey smoother and less stressful. Today we're diving into the latest on Form I-130 processing times for November 2025. If you're sponsoring a spouse, parent, child, or sibling for a green card, these numbers can feel overwhelming, but knowledge is power. We'll cover the updates for immediate relatives and preference categories, plus a full breakdown by USCIS Service Center. Stick around to the end for tips on checking your own case and what to do next. If this helps, hit that like button and subscribe for monthly updates. Let's get started. Once approved, immediate relatives, like spouses or parents of US citizens, can move right to adjustment of status or consular processing without visa waitlists. But for preference categories like adult children or siblings, you'll check the monthly visa bulletin for when your priority date becomes current. Pro tip: file online if possible, it's faster and USCIS flags errors up front. Filing fee is $675 as of 2025, and each family member needs their own petition. 2. Overall November 2025 processing times by category. Alright, let's talk numbers. As of November 2025, USCIS processing times for I-130 approvals vary by relationship and petitioner status. These are median times, meaning half of cases are done faster, half take longer. Remember, this is just for USCIS approval. Total green card waits can be longer due to visa caps. Family-based green card processing times, updated overview and what applicants should expect. Immediate relatives of US citizens including spouses, parents, and unmarried children under 21 benefit from the fastest immigration track available. With no annual visa cap, their applications typically move through USCIS in 14 to 15 months, averaging around 14.8 months overall. This category remains the most reliable and efficient route for close family members of US citizens. Family First Preference, F1. The F1 category applies to unmarried adult children, 21 plus, of US citizens and faces substantial delays. Median processing times range from 52.5 to 134.5 months, heavily influenced by annual visa limits and persistent global backlogs. Applicants often wait several years, making close monitoring of the monthly visa bulletin essential. Family Second Preference, F2A. F2A covers the spouses and unmarried children under 21 of permanent residence. While USCIS processing sits around 35 to 55 months, high demand frequently leads to priority date queues that push the total wait towards 7 to 9 years for many applicants. Despite being one of the quicker preference categories, backlog movement is unpredictable. Family Second Preference, F2B. This category, reserved for unmarried adult children, 21 plus, of permanent residence, experiences median timelines of 55 to 89 months. Typically I-130 approval takes 14 to 18 months, followed by a lengthy visa wait. Annual caps on LPR sponsorship significantly slow this pathway. Family Third Preference, F3. F3, covering married children of US citizens, is among the slowest moving categories. With processing ranges from 51 to 178.5 months, total waits often stretch 6 to 12 years, depending on country demand. Family Fourth Preference, F4. The sibling category faces the longest delays of all. With 72 to 156 months in median processing and real-world waits reaching 20 plus years, F4 remains the most backlogged family-based preference category in the entire system. These ranges come from USCIS data and trackers like Track My Visa Now, showing a slight uptick from earlier in 2025 due to backlogs, but good news, USCIS reduced overall delays by 15% last year and is trending toward faster approvals for immediate relatives. Spouses of citizens? You're looking at 17 to 64 months total in some cases, but many wrap up in under 2 years. If you're in the F4 sibling category, hang in there, it's tough, but families reunite every day. 3. Breakdown by USCIS Service Centers. Processing isn't one-size-fits-all, it depends on which USCIS Service Center handles your case, based on your location. As of November 2025, here's the 80% processing window. Most cases fall here, for I-130 immediate relatives. For preference categories, add visa wait times on top. Data pulled from USCIS's official tool, last updated late November. USCIS Service Center Processing Time Overview. How long family-based immigration petitions take can feel like navigating a maze blindfolded. Each USCIS Service Center operates with its own workload, staffing, and case volume, all of which shape processing timelines. Below is an expanded, clearer breakdown of the estimated processing ranges for immediate relatives and family preference categories across the major USCIS service centers. California Service Center, Laguna Niguel, California. Immediate relatives, 12 to 16 months. Family preference categories, 14 to 18 months, F1/F2, 50+ months, F3/F4. The CSC typically handles a heavy caseload, which often pushes F3 and F4 petitions far beyond the standard timeframe. Immediate relative petitions remain relatively steady, but still slowly paced compared to other centers. Nebraska Service Center, Lincoln, Nebraska. Immediate relatives, 13 to 17 months. Family preference categories, 15 to 20 months, F1/F2, 55+ months, F3/F4. Known for wide fluctuations in processing speed, NSC often sees higher wait times for complex or high-volume categories like F3 and F4. Immediate relative cases stay within a moderate but predictable range. Potomac Service Center, Willowbrook, MD/Jefferson, Virginia. Immediate relatives, 11 to 15 months. Family preference categories, 13 to 17 months, F1/F2, 48+ months, F3/F4. PSC tends to deliver some of the most efficient processing among service centers, especially for immediate relative petitions. While F3 and F4 still stretch into multi-year waits, they are generally shorter here compared to other centers. Texas Service Center, Irving, Texas. Immediate relatives, 14 to 18 months. Family preference categories, 16 to 22 months, F1/F2, 60+ months, F3/F4. The TSC is known for longer processing windows, particularly for the deeper preference categories. F4 petitioners, in particular, may face some of the longest queues nationwide. Vermont Service Center, Essex Junction, Vermont. Immediate relatives, 12 to 16 months. Family preference categories, 14 to 19 months, F1/F2, 52+ months, F3/F4. VSC's timelines are generally consistent, though heavy F3 and F4 caseloads continue to stretch beyond 4 years or more. Immediate relative processing aligns closely with national averages. Potomac is often the quickest for immediate family right now, while Texas sees a bit more volume. These are medians your case could be faster. Check which center you're at via your receipt notice. 4. Factors affecting times and tips. What impacts these times? Workload spikes, RFEs, requests for evidence. Always double-check docs, and visa caps. But here's how to stay ahead. Track weekly, use USCIS's processing times tool, it updates often. Expedite if needed, for emergencies like medical issues, submit a request with proof. Avoid delays, file complete apps, consider premium processing if eligible, not for most I-130s yet. Visa bulletin check, for F categories, monitor at travel.state.gov. That's your November 2025 I-130 update, empowering you one fact at a time. Drop a comment, what's your category, and how long have you been waiting? Share for support. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for December's bulletin. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Take care.